Yeah, my name is Christopher Adcock. I'm a planetary scientist and I work at University of Las Vegas, and I'm also a research associate with this museum. I love my profession. I get to look for resources on other planets. I get to look and see if there might have been life on other planets, if that was even possible. That's a good part of what I do, and it's a real exciting field. And I encourage people to look into it, even if that turns out it's not what they want to do.
So what is your current level of education?
I have a PhD.
And how long have you been working in this field?
Oh, that's a tough one. I started in the mid-90s, so about 25 years. It's been quite a while.
And what does a typical day on your job look like?
A typical day at my job. I go into in the morning. We have a laboratory. I have experiments running, so I have to go in and check on those experiments, make sure they're coming along properly. Sometimes I'll have to sample in the laboratory. My group has a number of undergraduate and graduate students who I also check on and make sure they don't need anything. And then I typically spend my afternoon, if I have time, writing manuscripts, taking care of email, etc., things like that. So it's a 9 to 5 type.
What would you say is the best part of your profession?
The best part of my profession? Well, I get to work with space. So I get to work with meteorites. I've worked with Martian meteorites, so meteorites that are actually from the surface of Mars. I get to work on things that may go on future missions, and in fact that's one of the things I'm working on right now, is how to get resources from the Martian surface for a future person to mission there. And that's really what I like, the whole subject of space and planets, things like that, and I think that's the coolest part of what I do.
Okay. And what would you say is the most challenging part of your profession?
Oh, so things go wrong quite often. And that's why we have experiments. And so my experiments don't always go the way they're supposed to go. And then you have to start over and do it again. And then you might have to start over and do it again after that. And so that's the challenging part, is understanding that things don't work, and that's the whole point of doing it. So it's challenging though, because nobody likes their work to not work.
So are there any recent developments or discoveries in your field that have helped to fuel your work?
Our missions to Mars, the current ones, I'm doing research on not only 2020, although I do work with someone who's on the 2020 mission for Mars, but future missions. Those have affected my work because we still have a lot of work to do before we can send people to Mars. And for example, we have to figure out how to grow things on Mars. We don't know if we can do that yet. We're pretty sure, but not positive. We need to figure out how to get fuel while we're on Mars, things like this. And so that's been a big development in my field in the last few years.
Okay, so how would you describe how your profession gives back to the community?
In general, humans are explorers, and that's part of what I do. And then we go out to schools and museums and things like that, and we share that, and we share what we've discovered. We also help develop technologies, so we give back to society that way. And science in general is a field that moves society forward. It's really, it's technologically driven, but it drives technology as well. So without science, we don't have the cell phones and the computers. And so I think that's really how we give back, that and exploration.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for young scientists or people looking to get into science?
Sure. If you really like science, become a scientist right now. Start investigating things right now. It doesn't matter how old you are. And then you'll learn as you go. One of the things that I learned was it does take a good bit of schooling and there's some perseverance, but if you truly are interested in it, then it really isn't that difficult because you want to do it. If if that's something that interests you, I really encourage you to do it. And there are many different fields of science. I'm simply in one. There are probably hundreds. So.